so we're going to do our maiden voyage today.
I guess so.
You up for it?
I'm up for anything that you're putting me up to, I guess.
Okay. Well, what I'll do, I'll step out. Smeller, you do the whole run. You load. I'm going to step on the outside there, and you can watch what Smeller's doing, and she'll explain she'll explain the more technical of the machine, that sort of stuff. I'll stand over here, and anything you don't understand, just ask me. But I'll keep a bit out of the way. So, okay?
Yeah.
We good?
Good.
Yeah. All right, I'm out of the way.
All right.
Okay. First of all, when you come in here, you want to make sure that your machine is set up. You don't want it on the automatic speed because your flour's just kind of like gonna come up.
We'll end up wearing it.
Yeah, like yesterday, like the other day when you
were yeah, and it was on your face. Yeah, that was
You don't want that. So I'll start off. We make the flour mix the day before our ingredients that we're putting in.
Okay.
And Rita can tell you about the ingredients.
Okay, definitely.
Okay.
All right. So what kind of flour is she using? What is she going to be putting in?
We do simple flour here. Flour is the primary flour in everything in the whole building is rice flour.
Okay.
And it's rice, potato, tapioca, golden flax, the whole seed that we grind up here, and olive oil. And that is the bulk of everything we do.
Okay.
This here is, Smeller's doing rice, potato, tapioca in there, and she's just put the golden flax in there.
Okay.
Now water. Water is probably the trickiest part about the bread. If you put in too much, it's tough. If not, it's not pretty.
Well, too much water is going to make your bread rise too much,
Okay.
and it's going to be so moist it's going to collapse.
Oh, okay.
So it over bubbles.
Okay, you don't want to do that.
If you don't do enough water, it's too tight, it can't rise, it's going to be a brick. So getting your water right, and Smeller does a touch, I do visual, which is different. So I look at it and it's the way that the dough flops, I got it.
Okay, so you said that she uses rice flour?
Yeah, I'll get your bag.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
All right, this is what we use. You find it's as common as, like you may not have come across it before because you don't eat this way.
Yeah.
But 50% of the world do not eat wheat. So what do they eat? They eat rice. And this stuff, like, there is a difference in milling. Like, you'll find rice flour here in America and it's milled here, but it's milled in the same mill, same style of mill that wheat is. And even if it's not contaminated, in other words, wheat and rice don't go in the same mill, it's a coarser mill. It's for milling wheat. Wheat doesn't mill the same way as rice does. To make the super fine that we do, to make the fine fluffy bread and the fine cakes, we need this sort of rice. And this all comes out of Thailand. They use a different mill. It's a wet mill. You know, you have a dry mill and a wet mill, and it produces a wet slurry for the rice and then centrifuges off.
Okay.
So you end up with this super fine. Similar is like Mexico has wet mills, and you'll have like corn grits, corn flour, and corn starch, which you reckon is going to be the dry and which is the wet.
Yes.
The wet is going to be the corn starch, and it's got that, you feel this, it's squeaky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a different texture. And all of this stuff pretty much comes out of Thailand. I think that there's other countries that might do it, but I know Thailand, and that's where I get it. Everywhere I've been in the world, I can get this stuff.
Okay.
So this is the deal with this one.
Very nice.
So that's the red. And the green we have two. And the green we do for pie crust, and we use a little bit in our cake flour mix. So that's the two flours. Same colour, same purpose. This one's a little arborio rice, and that one's a longer grain.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, bread is done mixing.
All right.
We've got to get it out of the bucket. This stuff is super duper sticky.
Okay.
So wet hands you have.
Wet hands?
Yes, wet hands. Like, all the time.
You got to wet. Yeah, oil doesn't do it. You just got to have this stuff is sort of a cross between clay and chewing gum.
Ugh.
And the only way you're going to manage this one is with wet hands. Everything needs to be wet, because if you don't, it'll stick to you.
Okay.
And at easy handling. So we're going to strip it right off now, and Smeller's going to do buns first, and she'll scoop. Now that's got to be done at pace, and she will scoop those buns. And then what we're going to do, I'll show you how to do pizzas
Okay.
And that's scooping too. We'll need 2 scoops to do a pizza because it's the same dough that does buns, does loaves, does pizzas, does pretzels. It's all exactly the same, but it's how you cook it, you know, the temperature that makes the difference. You bring a different
So the process
flavour.
of cooking is definitely different, but it's all the same.
Well, temperature really more than anything, because a pretzel is cooks through crisps all the way, and it's like eating a crust. You know, like it's crusted all the way through. Whereas a loaf of bread, for example, is crust just on the outside. So there's a difference in that sense. But anyway, we'll get this done.
Okay. There you go.
If you want to do your buns, and we'll wait, and then we can all do pizzas together, and then we'll use the space.
Okay.
And I'll do runner here, and I'll shift these trays on the rack as Smeller's finished.
All right. And you just do 1 scoop for those?
1 scoop per plate.
Okay, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
I hope.
I was really slow when I first started doing this. Rita would get really frustrated with me. It always starts off really tough, you know?
Doesn't it all? And now you just put them in the center. Does it not really matter?
You want to stick it all, yeah, try to get it even as possible. You want to get the same shape for every single bun. Of course, we're doing this handmade, so you're not going to get all the buns to look exactly the same.
Okay.
Machines will come in the future. And yeah, and then this is the last tray that we'll do.
Okay. Now I see that you're scooping the thing and then you're sliding it, so you want the bottom absolutely straight.
Right. You
Okay.
want it, and you want to keep it neat too. This is a messy thing.
Yeah, it looks kind of messy.
I'll do another pizza.
Okay. And now for the pizza, it's 2 scoops?
I'll do, how many you got there? How many loaves?
I've got quite a bit.
All right, so if you do me, I'll do 5 for a crescent.
Okay, I'll put it
5. Okay. Now, once Smeller's...
And also, you want to stick in all the buns into the steamer at the same time.
Yeah.
Steamer is a big part of why the bread is so soft and so like wheat bread, like actual wheat bread.
Individual different ways of doing it. What I always focus on, I like this outer edge done first.
Okay.
See that? And keep it wet. If it's sticking to you, it's too dry.
Ah, okay.
And see?
And it doesn't hurt the amount of water that we use? Doesn't hurt the dough?
It doesn't make much difference. Well, I guess you could put a bucket of water in it. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
Darn it.
See, and to get that smooth finish, see your fingers right at the edge, and that gives you that lip. Very nice with doing pizzas because it means your cheese is not going to slide off. There you go. You see?
Okay.
Yeah, a bit more water.
More water?
And see here, see you got lumpy bits at the edge.
Uh-huh.
Treat it like a potter's wheel and use your hands as an implement. See?
Oh.
See? And then your final thing at the end you can spin. There you go. Alright?
Is that good?
That's good. Okay, while Smeller's actually scooping this out, let's have a look in the oven and I'll show you what's doing here.
Okay.
Now, see, that's all right. That's all risen. It's swollen up. It looks really nice. It's risen.
Yes.
And what's actually happening there is that it's a funny thing with yeast. Yeast, before it dies, does a race to death. And that's what these poor little guys are doing in here. They're giving up their lives so that we can eat it. So all of these things have got that really swollen look and they're racing right towards the end. When your oven gets really hot and when they know that they're going to die, they just go. And that's what gives you that beautiful, soft, fluffy bun. In their death, they've given us a wonderful bun.
Well, by licensing and credentials, I'm a chiropractor, but I have a specialty certification in acupuncture and in neurology. So people tend to come see us for a variety of conditions, and it always comes down to assessing the individual's system and how we can optimize their own system. It's individualized, personalized medicine. I'm actually allergic to wheat, protein, gluten. And Rita's restaurant, Little Aussie Bakery and Cafe, is right on the progressive line of gluten-free cooking, and this is going to be the way to go for a lot of people. So she's way ahead of the game, and she's an expert at creating something that's gluten-free, yet making it absolutely tasty and enjoyable. It doesn't have it doesn't feel like you're missing or being deprived of anything. It's real food. It's all made with real stuff. It's just not wheat flour. It's the protein component of wheat that triggers immune responses in many people. So for me, in my individual system, it creates an autoimmune condition that resembles lupus. So my joints hurt, I get a rash on my face and just feel pretty bad for several days after eating, say, a pizza or drinking a beer. As long as I stay away from wheat most of the time, I'm extremely healthy, feel great. And I see that in my patient population too. We see a lot of people that may or may not be wheat intolerant or allergic or gluten intolerant. Doesn't matter. The ones that are definitely gluten intolerant and they do the avoidance, well, they do very well. And those individuals that aren't necessarily allergic, they do better too, because the gluten tends to create inflammatory conditions that might be precluding a healing response that we're trying to get.
Okay, Smeller.
Okay.
We're going to do choux pastry again today. We've got
Alrighty.
a couple of orders here. We've got a couple of dairy-free. So this one, we're going to do no butter. We're going to do vegetable shortening.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. I've boiled and melted this lot.
Which is the vegetable oil and water.
Yeah.
Reduced, right?
All right.
And that
Slow.
is our house flour
And salt.
and salt. Okay.
Okay. Slow, steady stream. Okay. Now this
This is the fun part.
is the
is
queen
what
of
we're-
pastry. This is as good as it gets.
This is sex on a stick.
Sex on
Sex
a
on a
stick it is. Sex on a stick. My favourite pastry.
Okay.
Now this one is not a sweet pastry. There's no sugar added to this. This one can be a wonderful savoury as much as it is a damn fine eclair.
Okay.
Or a Saint Anneau's, in fact. All right, 16 eggs into this baby.
6 more.
One. Now, the trick is to keep this one spinning and to get that pastry smooth.
Okay.
It's going to crumble initially, and it looks like it hasn't come together.
Right. And then it all just sucks back into itself.
It does.
Okay.
Turns to silk.
This is probably your favorite pastry, isn't it?
It is. I love this one to death. I really do. And I think it was the last pastry that I learned. Oh no, the
Biscuits. We did biscuits.
I
Yeah.
learned biscuits.
Which is hard for an Australian to do an American biscuit.
Yeah, which is well, I don't know. Biscuit is neither a Danish pastry and it's not a scone. It's somewhere in between.
Is there any baking powder in this, or is it going to rise all on its own?
All I'm saying. Hey, are we on 500?
Yes, it's very hot.
Now see how we're coming together now?
Yeah.
It's really like one big lump of chewing
Yeah.
gum. Now, if I left it at that, it'd be too stiff. So
Okay.
we're just going to give it a little more. I think it'll take the full 16. Sometimes it doesn't take your full 16. You know, it just doesn't. And other times it will.
But the more eggs, the better.
But you don't want to get sloppy.
Okay.
All right. Okay, we are done.
All
See?
right. Yeah.
It's really nice and stiff. It is gorgeous. Okay. Now, I did once try to see if I could do this by hand, and this is the same stuff. You could handle this, in theory, with wet hands. I mean, I tried to see if I could do it via hand and not pipe it, and of course save some mess. That's a nice thought. But I think I made more mess.
And it helps to spray the bag, right? So that just comes off
we
easier.
spray the bag.
Vegetable oil.
That helps. Okay. I'll leave this other half in there. It's too hard to handle.
Okay.
Okay, babe. Pass them up. Give me the pans one at a time. Now, this cake that we're going to do here, well, we're doing the framework of this cake, and it's called Saint Amours. Excuse the accent. And we're doing layers. So what it is producing this pancake form that's going to rise graciously. A lot to be said for looking good. You see, you can show off and say, I made
Look
that.
at this.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
did
this.
That. Next.
This doesn't need to be sprayed with vegetable oil or anything, right?
No.
Okay.
No. This has got so much eggs in it, it's going to be glossy.
But it is essentially dairy-free, right?
Dairy-free.
No sugar.
Well, I mean, I think traditionally choux pastry, well, not I do think. In fact, choux pastry traditionally is a butter. And the trick about using butter is that you eliminate so many people that are dairy-free. Right. And you've got to be a whole heap more careful if you're using butter, because butter burns. Whereas if I use vegetable shortening, and I use just the palm butter one, I can get the temperatures I want, and I don't have any issues about burning. I don't have any allergy issues, because I don't know anyone that's got an issue with palm butter. The mixed vegetable shortenings are usually got soy oil in it, and you get a lot of people with soy oil. I mean, I don't do well with soy, so.
I remember you did it with butter once, but it didn't hold its shape. It didn't get as big as it did with just palm oil.
Well, palm oil can...
It's stiff.
It's heat. And the palm oil can take the heat. And to cook this sort of stuff, you're sitting on 500. And butter doesn't like 500 degrees. And so you've got to be more careful about it. And the taste of butter is lovely, but
I mean,
we got so many
butter.
eggs here that the taste of eggs really is the dominant thing, and it's a wonderful taste.